It's assignment time. But don't worry, this is the first assignment we're going to do. And it's really about making sure that you can open and edit an HTML file. It's worth 4 marks and a pretty basic grading, just basic. And there's really simple expectations. To get started, you're going to want to make sure that you download the HTML5 template. I really encourage you to use the zipped folder because sometimes when you are using just a document rather than the zipped folder, the system will add or remove things based on what it thinks is safe. If you're using a zipped folder, rest assured you're going to get the actual file. If you're using a non-zipped file, it's possible that you're going to end up with something that's different. So I've already downloaded the HTML5 template. I am using a PC, so the process will vary slightly if you're on a Mac. If I open up the zipped file, then I can just move it over into a folder, unzip it, and then I can just open this up. Now, I have my Google browser open right here. So if I open up the page, I double click on it, it's going to open in the browser. Now this is a blank page, so you'll see there's no title and just basic information. Now I do actually want to open this in Notepad, so I can go File, Open, or I can right click. Oh, this is the zipped one. That's not going to work. There's my file. Right click and I can open with, and it's not even in there. So I'm going to have to choose another app. And there's Notepad. So I'm going to open that one. I'm just going to say just once because usually when we are opening an HTML file, we want it to open in the browser. And there's my document. So for this assignment, what you're going to do is you're going to take this HTML blank folder. You're going to add your own title. It should be relevant to the page. Should make sense. It can be your name. It can be whatever you want, but it should make sense. Remember, this is visible to the user, so it should make sense to the user. It's also what they see in the history. The heading, so you'll see I have H1. We can have H2, H3, H4, H5. The important thing to remember when working with headings, first off, all of these have to be in the body. They cannot be in the head or outside of the body. They need to be in the body, and they need to be in order. So H1 needs to be the first heading used, H2 being the second heading used, H3 being the third heading used. You can then go up and down, right? So you can go H1, H2, H3, back to H1, but they need to be for each subsequent one nested within it. It needs to be in order. A paragraph can be anywhere. So paragraph's kind of your main text or your default normal text. And both the heading tags H1, H2, H3 and the P paragraph tag are what we call container tags. We're going to talk a little bit more about containers as we move through the course, but these are both examples of containers, and containers are tags that hold content or other containers. We're not there yet, but keep that in mind that containers can hold other containers. So for this assignment, you're going to make sure that you update your heading. You need at least one heading and you need at least 3 paragraphs. I encourage you to use a decent amount of text for this just because it gives you a good chance to feel how content behaves. And it's hard to do that when it's only a paragraph. You can write me things about yourself, or you can, copy and paste script from your favorite movie. I'm not grading the content, although I appreciate interesting content because I do have to go through and grade these, and it makes it more interesting for me to read. But I'm not grading the content. So I actually don't care where this text comes from. It can be fake text. It can be made up. It really doesn't matter. So once you've done that, added your heading, added 3 paragraphs, then you're going to save it. The default here, it's called HTML5 index, but we need to save it, save as just index.html. And the reason that we're saving it as index.html is because that's what we're going to call all of our main pages. So we're not there yet, but at some point we're going to work off a server, and a server recognizes the primary page of any website as index.html, and that is with a lowercase I. No spaces. We never, ever, ever have spaces in file names, even if they are subfolders, image files, CSS files. Never, ever, ever put a space. It will work here, but once you go on a server, it'll cause you a lot of trouble. So index.html, save it. If I go back to my folder, there's my index.html. Of course, I can double click to open it. I'll see there's my title. I didn't actually update the heading and the paragraph, but we would see this updated. If I then go back to my file, you might remember this from the last video, and say, maybe add a second paragraph here, and then save it. I can refresh over in my browser. And I'll see a live version of what that looks like. So really, this is the assignment. That's really all you're expected to do. It should be pretty straightforward, but it's just making sure that you can get those kind of basics done, and then we can move on. If you're struggling with it, please do reach out. And then when you have it together, please zip it. There is a video on how to zip, and so if you're not really sure, take a look at that. And then your name and assignment number can go on the zipped folder. It doesn't, again, index.html only. The HTML file should not have your name or assignment on it. It should only be index.html. That's it. I look forward to seeing your assignments and seeing all the interesting things that you're writing for me.